Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Carolyn McGee. I am an angelic life coach, Reiki master teacher, and intuitive healer. I am here to help you enhance your intuition, connect deeper with that divine guidance that is available to us 24/7, and to trust it. And then with spirit, embody that energy that flows through you so that you can manifest your dreams. I am here every Wednesday at noon Eastern to help answer your questions. So to start with, I always like to either pull a card or do a brief meditation. So what I am going to do today is pull a card and then check to see. I'm going to activate the Q&A box to see who's joining us and who might have some questions, and then we will go from there. So I am using my Saints and Angel sticks, one of my favorites. If you join me on a regular basis, you're going to hear me say that every time I use it, probably. So here we go. What a lovely card. I love the energy of this card. It actually is one of my favorites. It's just so vibrant and also very, very simple. And I think that the energy that's flowing out of it is that it's that simple. All we do need to do is believe, and things will be changing, and believe that everything that happens is for our highest good. I'll give you an example. You might notice I have a little bit of a like a black and blue mark in my eye. Now, I've been doing a lot of work. I'm doing some work with enlightened tapping and soul purpose manifestation. I noticed that after I did some karmic clearings yesterday, this little thing in my eye came out. Now, it's not painful. It's just there. I could get nervous about it, and I did briefly for a second. I am human. But then I quickly realized that it was the physical reaction to a detachment, to something that was blocking me. And oh, now I'm seeing here, I've got a little bit of another one over here. I didn't notice that earlier today. So it was a physical reaction in my body to a blockage that I had in my third eye. And my dreams were much more vivid last night. So it's working. And I believe that everything happens for my highest good. So I'm going to allow it time to physically heal and just to move forward. So that's the invitation for us for our time together, and also for you in general. Let's see, I want to phrase this as a positive. It's believe that everything that happens for you is in your highest good, and that it happens for a divine reason, and that when you go through easily with it rather than resisting, it will happen easier and it will not repeat. The example that I am being given now is a small child who's having a temper tantrum. And sometimes our ego can be like that. They can act, he, she, us, our inner child, the ego can really have a fit about change. It's scary. Our self versus some of the other higher aspects of our self can get triggered, and they do throw a little bit of a fit. And what do you do when you see a child throwing a fit? You pick them up and you love them. So if you do that and you nurture your own self, then you can carry yourself forward rather than arguing or trying to drag the little child around. That's only going to make the tantrum get even bigger. So that's the information that's being offered up to everybody right now, to nurture that little voice of resistance and to believe that everything happens for a reason. And as soon as you embrace that, or the sooner that you embrace that and nurture it and bring it forward with you, the less resistance that there'll be to change. So I trust that that was beneficial for you. Okay, so to get started, okay, so we've got some questions here. Awesome, we had some questions come in ahead of time and got a couple questions here. also. So if you have a question, would love some divine guidance, please feel free to type it into the sidebar and I will be happy to answer it for you. So here we go. The first question that I have is, with so many programs and wanting to be seen in a bigger way, what's the best decision for me right now? To continue with my healing practice, to heal people from pain, or move straight into a customized golf program? And this is from Jacqueline. So let's see. I am staying with the same cards. We're going to see what the angels have to say about either changing or continuing. And thank you very much, Jacqueline, for posting your question. I love to be able to give information. Okay, got some good stuff coming up here. Okay, well, the first card that came up is Be Brave. And what I'm hearing with this one is that you know the answer and you have a fear associated with it. So check down deep in your heart, and I'm going to circle back to a specific answer, but right now I'm going to kind of lead you down a path, so to speak, or I'm not. I'm channeling the information to lead you down the path. So look in your heart, see how this angel is fully supported by what seems like it could be, you know, a wild, dangerous animal, but she's completely safe. She's very relaxed. She's at peace. So feel in your heart what is going to give you that peace and serenity, and know that either choice is going to work well, but what is going to give you the most abundance? And abundance can be looked at in many, many different ways. You know, there's abundance and money and other things. It's really all just a different variety of energy. So there's abundance of family, there's abundance of time, there's abundance of support, there's abundance of money, you know, all these things, friends, family, love, all of these things that are so incredibly health, very good health. That's really important also. And what I see for you in this card is all of the different support that's around it. If you notice, she's, you know, we've got the doves, which are peace, and then the other animals that are around, plus all of this support in the background. So again, you have everything you need to make a choice. I believe that either choice, actually what I'm hearing now is that you don't have to make a choice. You can continue to do both. You can continue to do the healing as well as step into your golf program, but you need to create time to do the golf program if that's something that's really important to you. So let's see what the next one has to say. Okay. You know, traditionally, St. Anthony is associated with lost things. You invoke him if you need some support in finding something that's missing. In this particular case, I think it's a missing piece of data for you on how to smoothly and easily move forward. So in this book, I looked at that as a journaling exercise for you. Start maybe even, okay, now I'm seeing rows and columns, almost like an accountant. So pluses and minuses, write things out for you. Oh, and my dog just did a little bark. He agrees with me, or with the angels. So do some pluses and minuses, pros and cons. You know, what is the positives of stepping out with a golf program? Do you love your existing healing practice and want to keep it going? You know, what is your long-term goal? I'm almost seeing it as it's not a today thing, it's what's long-term for you. And then how do you easily, with less resistance and with the most amount of grace and joy, get there? So if your long-term goal is to only be doing the golf programs and to concentrate on golfers and have them I mean, have that be your market and just do perhaps a piece of your healing, but only in the golf community, then that's going to shape what you do right now. If your long-term goal is to have an online program and have the golfers be a subset of your healing practice, then that's a different approach. So I think that you need to definitely feel that you need to look in your own heart and write down so that you can get some clarity around it. When you're standing at a fork of the road, it becomes, sometimes we can only see the two options. You know, we don't see, and it looks to us like this road is just going to keep going forever in this direction, and this one's going to keep going forever in this direction. But what we can't see is that they come back around maybe shortly, and then they meet back up again. And that's what I'm feeling for you, is that there's this fear of committing yourself, that it will only be one or the other. And that's just with the way the universe works, and unlimited abundance and unlimited options. That's really not the way it works. So you have the ability to choose, and taking the next right step is something that's going to help you energetically propel forward. So I hope that was beneficial for you, Jacqueline, and thank you for asking your question. Okay. Now I have another question that was emailed in ahead of time, and this is from Veronica. Thank you so much. I'm just going to hold it up here so I can read it and still kind of be looking at you. I actually felt it when a person who was dating my father shot out a cord, and it embedded in my heart. It felt like an attack, a lance, a direct line to shoot energy at me, whether positive, but mostly negative, from this person. She's clingy, dramatic, and codependent. I feel like she's an energy drain, sucking my life force, and I don't want this cord. Is there a way to disconnect it while still knowing that I'll see this person at family gatherings? I'm developing shielding visualization, but is there anything that I can do so I don't run with anxiety, fight, or flight when I'm within 10 people of her or hear her voice? So she says she does tapping, and what else can you do? Oh, and then this is very nice to hear. She says, I love your show. It's really useful information. So thank you, Veronica. I really appreciate the feedback. So for cord cutting, there are ways to do cord cutting on your own. I do recommend that you work with somebody to support you, especially with a family member and a cord that has been shot at you. There are a lot of really great people out there that do cord cutting exercises. I am going to lead us through a cord cutting exercise now that we can use. If you are interested in me helping you, you can certainly reach out to me, and at the end of the show, I'll give you all my contact information. So for right now, I invite everybody, if it is safe for you, and if not, we are about 16 minutes into the show. You can come back later and get to this part on YouTube and review this again. But if it is safe for you, I invite you to uncross your legs so you get your feet firmly on the ground, and close your eyes. Close your eyes softly and just kind of relax. I always like to move my shoulders a little bit, relax, and get some of the energy flowing. You may want to wiggle your feet a little bit and then just feel some of the energy on the bases of them. Okay, so let's take in 3 breaths this time. And the breathing that I prefer to use, that I find the most beneficial, is in through the nose and out through the mouth. So let's do that together. Now softly close your eyes. I'm going to close mine along with you. And continue to breathe gently and slowly at your own pace. Feel your body filling with that life force energy, that breath of life, the breath of energy, moving in through your body, clearing what no longer serves you, energizing every piece of your body. As you breathe in, feel it move all the way down to your fingertips. Feel that breath and that energy go all the way to your toes. Almost as if there is a light filling every aspect of your being. Feel your body glow with that white energy, that white light of your breath. Just allow that breath to fill your body even more so that you feel very full. And now see that white light start to expand outside of your physical body, to move into your aura, your energy field. Now I invite you to step outside your body so that you can look at your body as if you were looking at a movie screen. So now you see your entire body, your physical body and your energetic body, and it's filled with a brilliant white light and surrounded in a brilliant white bubble. But as you look at it, you notice that there's some dark spots, or perhaps they're colors. And you just notice it and observe that those are a few areas where you have some stuck energy. So no judgment, no analyzing, just observation, storing that information for later. Continue to breathe and observe, and now start to notice that there's little energy cords, little lines that look like phone lines, or they may be big pipes. It could be something like the oil pipelines. It could be a cable like you've seen with a lot of different cords inside it, something that would be buried in a yard, sending a lot of information back and forth. It could be just a tiny little cord, like what you use to plug in your phone. It could be a tiny string that looks like it's coming from a ball of yarn. Use your own energy, your own imagination to see those cords. Feel them. Now today we're only going to work on one of those cords. So Veronica, for you, look at the cord that's with the person dating your father. And for everybody else, find the cord that you just intuitively know is the first one that needs to be released. And now I invite Archangel Michael to come in with his sword of truth and to stand next to you. Again, you're observing your body and seeing it all. Now you see that cord, how it just floats out into space, or perhaps it's rigid because it's so big and entrenched with information. You see it floating out towards the other person. Release any fear you have in your body about hurting the other person or hurting yourself when you let this connection go. I promise you that we will fill it back up again. And if you want to recreate it, we can do that also. So take in another deep breath and exhale and ask Archangel Michael to completely sever that cord. allow it to be completely broken. All we're doing is breaking the old way of connecting to fill it with new, with light and love. Now, if you're feeling a little resistance to breaking that cord or cutting through it, through the pipeline even, I'm seeing a few of them are pretty big and entrenched there, then just trust again and ask Archangel Michael to work through it. Allow him to cut with the saw if he needs to. Bring in heavy equipment, whatever is necessary to cut through that. And breathe and allow and let it completely be dissolved. Allow it to completely be dissolved. Now, watch that ends that are embedded in you start to disintegrate. The piece connected towards the other person is going to slowly dissolve and go into their energetic body, to be absorbed into their body, not to leave a hole. And the piece that is embedded in you, same thing, it just slowly evaporates. It gets absorbed into the light in your body. And the root of it all completely disintegrates. Now, ask Archangel Michael to help you fill that hole with the white light of God, with that energy that you filled your body with, and see it become completely filled in, strong and clear. Now ask yourself, where in your body do you want to reattach that cord? Or do you want to reattach that cord? Allow the cord to consciously be connected to the other person. Set your intention of how you want your relationship to be, your energetic relationship. If you want it to be intellectual, if you want it to be filled with love, if you want it to be only business-wise, however you want it to be set, allow it to now create and start over again. Watch as that cord, a tiny little thread of light and love, goes out to the other person. And be very conscious of where you connected on them also. Now know that you are now reconnected, if you so choose, in a higher vibrational way. Thank the other person energetically. And now feel your energy, feel your body, first of all, turn and say thank you to Archangel Michael for helping you. And now allow your energy to meld back in with your body so that you're aligned. And then start to see that white light pull back into your body from your energetic field. And then pull back and start to go back down through your body, through your shoulders, through your heart, through your solar plexus, sacral, and root chakra, down through your legs and back into the ground. And anything that's still with you or that was cleared out from you is going to be absorbed into Mother Earth, into the ground. Now take 3 more deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Start feeling yourself coming back into your body, shaking it out a little bit. And while you guys are integrating your energy and starting to feel yourself back in your bodies again, I am going to let my dog outside. You could probably hear him ringing the bell in the background. So start moving a little bit, shrugging your shoulders, wiggling your feet and your hands, and I will be right back. So I would love to hear some feedback from people on how that was for you. I'm sure that it was beneficial to a lot of people. So Veronica, thank you so much for reaching out and asking me that question. One of the things that I have found in my years of doing this business is that when someone is brave enough to ask a question, it is so highly beneficial for everyone who is listening. There is always somebody else who has what we call a borrowed benefit from it. So thank you very much for your courage. I really appreciate it. So I'd like everybody, as I said before, to just kind of make sure you're really back in your body. You may even want to kind of brush off some of the energy that might be stuck in your energetic field. Brush it off on your legs. Maybe move your feet a little bit. Tap behind your ankles. You can't see me doing it, but that's what I'm doing to move the energy in there and kind of open up everything, because you just did a lot of work. Cord cutting is it is a lot of work. There's a lot of energy to be released, and you did it. Congratulations. That's really amazing. I could feel a whole lot of stuff getting released with you guys. So good work. Congratulations on doing that. Let's see what else we have going on up here. Okay, no new questions or comments at this moment, but let's see what else we can get going. Okay, so we have another question that was sent in ahead of time that I am going to answer for you. This was from somebody who is anonymous. They just said, my son is getting ready to go to college. And will he find a college that's the right place for him, and will he be okay? And then she says, it's funny, I really want to ask if he'll be successful, but that's triggering me a little bit. So let's see what we have to say about that. And I am staying with the same deck. Okay. Okay, so if you look at this card, you see how the baby is sitting on, whether it's his father's or someone else's shoulders, an adult's shoulders, but he's not holding on to anything. He's just kind of resting his hand on there. And to me, that says that he's very safe. He's very supported. He has everything he needs. He's completely in balance, and there's nothing to worry about at all. Everything is really aligned for his highest good. So I would say, yes, he is going to find a great place to go to school. If you notice in the back, it actually looks like a college campus, which is fascinating. I just love the way the information comes through in these cards, or in cards in general, and in life in general when you open your eyes to it. So it does look like it's a nice campus. It looks like it's someplace that's a little bit more rural and open versus in the middle of a city. There is some water in there, so that may come to play in it. And there's some people walking around, and the energy coming off of the people is of contentment. So it feels like that it's a really good place. And also, oh, look at this in here. Love these. Every time I look at them, I see something different. So if you notice down in here, there's somebody holding a light, and it looks to me like a lamp of learning. So it does appear that he is going to have some great learning opportunities there. One of the fabulous things about college is the ability to learn about life. It's not just the book learning, which of course is really important, but it's also learning about life, learning how to engage, learning how to be self-sufficient, learning how to build relationships, learning when relationships aren't positive. So there's all of those opportunities that are coming up for your son. And yes, I do believe that he will be highly successful, but it will be success in a manner that is unique to him. It may not be, I don't want to say that it's not going to be, but it may not appear at first that it's success in what sometimes we often look at it is. Will he come out of school with a six-figure job? Most likely not. Will he come out with a great sense of who he is, strong self-esteem, and ability to really engage and make a change? We really need young people now that are coming out and willing to make a stand, making a difference in the world. And I know that's a little bit of a cliche saying, but I do believe, and what I'm hearing is that it's really important for especially the younger generation to come in and take a stand for what they believe. And what I'm hearing is that your son is going to be in that category, that he will become passionate about something and really make a difference in what he chooses to do. So I hope that that was beneficial for you, gave you a little bit of peace. I got kids in college. I know it's a little bit stressful figuring out what they're going to do and having them leave. So yes, he's going to do great. Okay, I am just going to peek around here and see. We've got some thank yous. You are very welcome. It is so nice to hear feedback. And okay, I'm not seeing anything else. So what I would like to do then is my pendulum. Isn't that funny? That is not what my brain said that we were going to do, but obviously have to listen. So I want to just take a minute and explain about pendulums, because pendulums can be used to get information, to help you determine if something is good for you or not good for you, to get yes or no answers on your own questions. Of course, I am here every Wednesday, and I'm really happy to support people in any way that I possibly can, but sometimes you can't wait a week for an answer. You can reach out to me. I'm not saying that you can't, but it's nice to be able to reach out and get your own answers and feel confident in them. If you've never used a pendulum, it's just, I'm not going to hold it from the top because it's just not showing up easily. But a pendulum is just, it's something, usually it's a heavier weight. It's balanced proportionally. And it can be decorated. This one happens to be a chakra pendulum because I love the chakras and the balance and the colors. So this is one of my favorites. Now, if you hold the pendulum and ask it a question, it will vibrationally read the energy associated with universal life force energy and the energy of the universe and give you an answer. So I'm going to just give you an example of that. So you can see I'm holding it here, and I'm going to keep my hand really still so you can see it's not moving. And I'm just going to ask this pendulum, getting excited to play, to show me a yes. You see how it's just moving here? It's really interesting because it's actually moving in a different direction than it normally does for me. I think it wants to show you because it's a mirror here. Okay, now, and I'm not moving my hand, by the way. Thank you. Okay, now, pendulum, would you please show, whoops, would you please show me a no? Okay, a little bit different answer than when I'm doing it for me personally, but so before for yes, the pendulum went in a circular motion, and this time it is just moving back and forth, so towards my body and then away from my body. Okay, let's settle down. So the way you can use pendulums is to ask yes or no questions, but you do want to be very, very specific when you are talking to a pendulum. Because what you're basically doing is you're talking to the energy of the universe. And the energy of the universe is very literal. So if you ask, for example, is it in my highest good? You always want to use in my highest good, because the answer might be yes, like it's okay, but it might not really be in your highest good. And you want to put a time frame on it too. So is it in my highest good to take a specific class this year? Because it might be in your highest good to take the class or to take a trip or to change jobs, but it might be next year versus this year, or it might be next month versus this month. Because there could be something better that's coming in before, or there could be something that's going to happen first that will make the next step of the process even better for you. So we always want to ask for, is it in my highest good? And put a time range on it. You can start with today, then go to this week, or you can start big and then narrow down. Whatever is going to work best for you, but those are some tips that I have found over the years to really help make it the most concise information for you. So let's think of a real simple one here. Okay, I am just going to ask a yes or no question. I'm not going to do anything complicated. So let's ask, is my cat Petey in the same room as I am? And he is. You can't see him because he's on the opposite side of the camera here, but he is sitting in the room with me. So I hope that was a little bit interesting, fun. You can find pendulums anywhere. A lot of the metaphysical shops, card shops, a lot of places carry them. You can certainly get them on the internet too. What I suggest is that you just kind of vibrationally feel or ask if it is the right pendulum for you. A few shows ago, I talked about holding something to your heart to see if it's good. You can always ask the question that way. You can write it down on a piece of paper and ask, is this the right pendulum for me? If you don't automatically hear or feel or see that it is the right one for you. Sometimes if you are out physically, you can take it and hold it to your heart, and it will either expand because it's the right one for you, or you're going to kind of feel like it's pushing its way away from you, letting you know that it's not the right choice. They are vibrational beings, they're energy, and they certainly conduct a lot of energy, as you can see. So you do want to make sure that you find one that's a great vibrational match for you. And Denise stated, I love pendulum work. Oh, and she says a beautiful one with the chakra colors. Thank you very much, Denise. Okay, so I am just now going to ask the pendulum if our show is done for today. And we are getting a no. Okay, so am I supposed to ask you another question? Yes. Okay, let me tune in for a second and find out what the other question is that I need to ask. Okay, got it. All right, my pendulum. There is a Wednesday that I am not going to be available to do a live show. Is it in my highest good and the highest good of my listeners for me to record a show and post it for them that week? Yes? Fabulous. We got the answer. I was thinking about that before I went on. I am actually going to be going to a retreat at the end of March, so it's a little ways out, but now I know exactly how I am going to handle that Wednesday that I am not going to be available. So, oh, and there's another question here too from Denise. Can you say more about being a vibrational beings? Never thought of pendulums that way. Everything, great question, Denise, and thank you so much for asking it. Everything is energy. If you looked at anything underneath a microscope and you kept going down and down and down on it, it all breaks down to molecules. And then I know molecules break down to something even smaller, but I don't know what the terms are. But everything is bits of energy, and it forms together to make what we see as objects. We see a human body, we see a cat, we see a candle up on there behind me, we see a pendulum. But really, everything is energy. It's energy that is constructed in a unique way. And that's why we each pick up energy in a different and unique way, because we are unique. We all are slightly different. And you know what makes the pendulum a pendulum, and what makes this pendulum different from another pendulum, is the energy and the way that all of the I'm going to call them molecules, because that's the word that I know, are put together. And so the way that this pendulum, as I think everybody is beings, they have energy, they have an energy. I think that's the best way for me to put it. So they're going to pick it up differently, and they're going to react differently. And let's see if my pendulum wants to add anything to that. Do you have anything more to add? No, nothing more to add. Oh. Okay, so yes, everything, if you think about it, even, you know, with the chair that I'm sitting on, it's made up of molecules. It's chosen to, or it was created into, you know, something that was wood first, and then put together into be a chair to support me. But it's still made up of molecules. It's made up of energy. And that's how crystals work also. Crystals have a certain vibrational energy to them, and crystals are something that we will get together, or we will go into maybe next week. Let's see if that is actually, since we're segueing here, is crystals a topic for next week on Wellness Wednesday? Okay, so now we know what we're talking about next week in between answering your questions. So tune in next week, Wednesday at noon Eastern Time, and I will be talking about the vibration of different crystals. If you have specific crystals that you would like to know about, please reach out to me ahead of time. Otherwise, I am just going to pick some of my favorites, maybe some chakra crystals, because we seem to be on a roll with the chakras. And we'll just see where we go from there. So thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate your love, your support, and your questions. I am here to serve you, so thank you from my heart. If you are interested in learning more about me, or you want to just get in touch or be friends on Facebook, you can reach me at carolynmcgee.com. Email is carolyn@carolynmcgee.com. And Facebook is Carolyn McGee Intuitive Coach. So I look forward to hearing from you all and seeing you again next week. Thanks, everybody. Mwah.